Now, when we talk about the feedback systems, first of all, there are two types of feedback system. There is a positive feedback system and then there is a negative feedback system. Mainly, we come across the negative feedback system, but normally what happens, like we discussed, there is a set point. The level, if it increases beyond that set point or decreases beyond that set point, then the feedback mechanisms get activated to try to bring that value back to the set point. So it is basically the corrective mechanism that our body has to ensure that homeostatic mechanisms are maintained. So homeostasis is carried out, which is homeostasis means the maintenance of the constant internal environment is maintained through these feedback systems in the body. Okay, so we will first talk about the negative feedback system. All right. So like I said, majority of the feedback systems that we talk about and also the ones that our body uses, they are the negative feedback mechanisms. Okay. And they basically provide us with a condition. So the simple one that we talk about, how you sweat when your body starts heating up. So basically, when your body temperature rises above 37, your body will initiate the feedback mechanism to try to drop that temperature back to 37. So it does that by the cooling mechanism, and sweating is one example of a cooling mechanism. Okay. Then you have the cold temperature. So you start shivering, you start curling up. So those are all changes that happen in order to warm up your body. So this is also an example of a feedback mechanism, which is a negative feedback mechanism. So if you look at this flow chart over here, first of all, for the communication, you have the hormonal communication and nervous communication, like we discussed. Now, if the communication is through the hormones, then you will have the target organs for those hormones that will be carrying out this mechanism. So, generally, for hormones, for example, you have the insulin's target organ is the muscle cell or liver cell or the adipose cells, the fatty cells. Let's say if you have the thyroxine hormone, for the thyroxine hormone, literally majority of the cells in your body are the target organs, but mainly it's your liver cell, it's the muscle cells and the brain cells. Okay, so different hormones have different target cells. If the communication is through the nervous system, then these are the only two, what you call effector organs, or only two organs which will be affected, the muscles or the glands. So depending on what you want to target, whether you want to target a cell, whether you want to target a gland, through that also it will be decided whether a hormone needs to be released or a nerve impulse needs to be sent. Okay. So like I said, you have the normal level of a particular factor. So that is your set point. If it increases above that set point, that change is first of all going to be detected by the receptors. Once the receptors have detected the change, they will either choose to communicate by hormones or via nervous system, and they will send the information to the effector. So like I mentioned, if it is by hormones, it will be to the target organ, or if it by the nervous system, then the effector will be muscle or gland. What is the job of these effectors? Their job is to respond to the stimuli. So the stimuli is the change that was being detected by the receptor, correct? So these effectors will work towards correcting that change so that the level can go back to the normal level. So when there is an increase, your body tries to decrease it. That is the negative feedback part. Similarly, if the level falls low, then your body's corrective change will be to increase that level, to bring it back to normal. This is the negative feedback part of it. So the same thing will happen. Receptor will detect it, effectors will carry out the change. So why is it called the negative feedback system? Because when there is an increase in the level, your body will try to decrease it. It will try to do the opposite of it.